Money on my mind, gotta hustle and grind. Financial literacy always on my mind. I'm stacking knowledge, no time to waste. Gotta invest smart, gotta keep up the pace. I'm reading books, learning all the tricks, studying the market, making calculated picks.
Hey everybody, it's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are back at it again with another financial recap. But this is a special episode. This is the annual financial recap. So we're going to gauge how we did against last month, but we're also going to gauge how we did against January, which was the start of the year. So we're going to have some pretty interesting conversations on this episode. I am super excited. Obviously, in the year, we had a pullback. It is what it is. Market doesn't go up in a straight line, and it doesn't always go up every month. This will be the first month that we've had to have the conversation about pullbacks, though, which is awesome. I'm totally fine with that in the grand scheme of things, because as we zoom out, because if you can, it's real easy to get poo-pooed and downtrodden if you're looking in narrow windows when it comes to finance, but in the grand scheme of things, when we look at the road that we've come down, it's been amazing. It's been a great year. 2024, for all intents and purposes, was my year. 2025, we are going to keep running the bag up. And we're going to keep documenting the run up of said bag. But before we get into the business, have you liked the video? Have you shared the video? That's a new one, because I got some people who that are showing up. I want to know if you've liked the video. I want to know if you've shared the video. I want to know if you're supporting the channel. I want to know if you're acting on the information, because obviously I'm giving the plays that I'm making and showing the results. But that's going to do you no good if you do nothing. Either way, I want better for everybody, and we don't really do excuses over here, especially when I'm leaving the breadcrumbs and giving the play-by-play of what I'm doing with my money, and pretty much the same or a similar situation to what you guys are in, because I am still in the muck and the mire as well. I still have to go to work when I don't want to. I don't have the luxury of being 100% in control of my time. I'm definitely not anywhere close to 100% in control of my time at this juncture, but we're grinding through it, and we're working towards an end result. And I want you guys on the journey with me. So obviously stop over, check some stuff out, but tap in, reach out. I love talking about money. Those are my favorite DMs, is when people hit me up and they're like, hey, what do you think of this? Let's talk strategy. Let's do these things. Contact is down in the description on ways to get a hold of me. I'm regularly checking my socials. I check my socials on my breaks throughout the day, and I respond when I can. So I also do respond to all the comments down in the description. Yeah. And I'm just going to put a PSA out here. I am very long-winded. Actually, I'm not. I don't even think I'm very long-winded. I watch other people's videos, and they are way more long-winded than me, but I am long-winded. Obviously, I'm not getting paid to be here. This is me passing on my information, my take, my opinions. It's not financial advice. It's just a guy showing you what a working class, blue collar person can do with their money if they know how money works. To just show that, you can get it from darn near anywhere. I'm not making six figures. I'm nowhere close to six figures. And, we have all the things that all the gurus tell you are just impossible unless you're a multimillionaire. So I'm going to give the information the way that I'm giving it, especially since it's for free. So if that doesn't work for you, feel free to see yourself out, or just fast forward till you get to the meat and potatoes. One of the other things I am going to do is I'm going to start experimenting with the chapters for YouTube to kind of make it easier for people to get to key pieces of information. I'm going to do that. If I'm going to do it in an automated fashion, because it's just me. I don't have a team. No one's helping me. I'm figuring this out and building this plane as I'm going by myself. So yeah, you're going to take the information the way that it's getting given. Cause A, I'm not selling you guys anything. And B, I'm telling you what I'm doing, which most of you aren't getting the actual game. I see what people are posting and what the responses are in the Reddit forums. So for you to be able to sit and listen to something, like you don't even have to watch this. You can like put it on in your headphones and just listen to it. That's the way I take in all my content. I'm a long form content creator. I don't make 5-minute videos unless I can just summate the information in 5 minutes. There might be some 5-minute videos at a certain point. I might, if I ever have time, go back and break these videos down so that you can get the little nibs that is just the information. But until then, the information is what it is. Chew the meat, spit out the bone, take it for what it is. This is what the platform is. This is what I do. So if you want to make 5-minute videos, you go make 5-minute videos, because I saw the feedback and noted, but also I'm going to present it the way that I'm presenting it, because I'm presenting it for my people. I'm not presenting this for the mass of dullards who have the attention span of a toddler. We're doing stuff a little bit different over here in the wolf pack. And if you're not on the level for that, then that's fine. Like, to be where you're at. Or you can fast forward and get it the way that you need to get it. I'm going to work on the chapters so that way it also spoon feeds you. But as far as I'm concerned, this is casting gems amongst swine. I've got my people that have been day one from when I was doing live content a lot more often. And those are the people that I make this for. And there's about 10 of them. And those are the only 10 people that I care about. So, because like those are the people that tap in with me and we're talking about stuff regularly. And then we have conversations about these videos on the back end. And I'm fine with that because this is an unmonetized channel. So I'm going to do it the way that I want. Anyways, let's jump into it. Also, if you're a hater, subscribe. You can hate more efficiently. If you've been here more than twice, you should also be subscribed, because that way you'll get the notifications and have it in your algorithm when these gems get dropped. But we're going to go ahead and start off. We're going to start off with net worth. Our net worth at the end of the year was down. We went down from November to this month. We had a pullback. Obviously, Bitcoin had a pullback. I am very narrative driven in all of my portfolios. My traditional finance portfolio is very reflective of my crypto portfolio, and it's going to get more reflective of my crypto portfolio. Like, I am doubling down. I want all the things, all the means of exposure are what it is. The reason being, and I know a lot of people would be like, it's redundant, but I'm not buying the Bitcoin ETFs. I'm not buying the Ethereum ETF directly because I have Bitcoin and Ethereum. I am a holder. The reason it's redundant is because I am that high conviction on the trajectory of Bitcoin. So if I'm not going to get the performance that I'm going to get out of stocks that are Bitcoin adjacent, then there's no point in me buying into those positions. Now, I'd rather ride the waves of Bitcoin. I'm used to it, and it's not even as bad on the traditional finance side as it is on the Bitcoin side, like actually being in the crypto market. And I'd rather ride those waves and get those rewards and collect that income than to just blindly follow along and do things because that's what the crowd's doing. Like, I'm already part of a crowd. Like, I'd rather follow my conviction. I'm not a fan of diversification if you have high conviction. Diversification is for people who don't know what they're doing, or people who are so risk averse that they'd rather make less money over time to diversify and just do everything. The diversification plays that I do have within my portfolios are, for instance, YMAX is a diversification play for me. It's an income diversification play, though. So, I mean, it's kind of a stabilizer because I have margin on my income account. And my actual growth portfolio, there's no diversification. It's all Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin narrative, crypto narrative, or AI. Those are kind of the things that I'm looking at. The only thing that I have that's not crypto adjacent is Palantir in my portfolio right now, my personal portfolio. That's what it is. So the pullbacks are pretty dramatic. We are, and from a net worth standpoint, we are down $12,690. Now you got to be able to look at that and go, oh, like, you get a little body punch there, but you got to take your blows. You got to take the bad with the good. The good part of this downtrend, this pullback, is it's another buying opportunity. So we get to instigate another strategy that we're going to talk about in the portfolio breakdown, which you will be seeing tomorrow, which will be Tuesday, the first Tuesday of the month. And I'll go into that on that video because, again, long-windedness. So I am trying. So the net worth in and of itself for the from November to this month, we're down $12,000. Now, here's the interesting part. When you span out to the year, when I go back to January, we are up in net worth growth, the growth of our assets, $82,875. My net worth at the beginning of January was just a hair. We were actually not just a hair. We were a little bit under $200,000. Is it $186,897 after everything was said and done at the start of January? We ended this year with a net worth of $269,772. So we had a pretty good jump. I mean, like, I didn't save all that money. So the assets that we were investing in appreciated in value. Obviously, Bitcoin bull run, Bitcoin narrative, the Bitcoin stocks, most of those positions have done very well. Moving on to savings. Our savings percent for this month was 47.12%, which is awesome. We generally span somewhere between, I'd say, 40% and 60%. This year, because since I've been tracking it, like, it's been getting better. As we build out this income portfolio, I'm hoping to get to parity where we're stabilized at about 50%. And the way that we're going to do that is strategically, from a strategic perspective of what we're doing with the dividends this year after we get rolling, because this year is going to be a year. I'm going to have a full bore year of dividends, like going. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit as we get to the dividend section. But as we start moving off and like moving our velocity banking strategy to be focused out of our income account, that dividend payout every month will be covering all of our bills and expenses. So as we start parsing this out, as this portfolio grows, we're going to start chunking things out into its own portfolio. I'm going to have a specific portfolio specified for my house, specifically home improvements. And when not doing home improvements, or I don't know what to do with the money, or if I'm not saving up for a big ticket home improvement, it will be going to pay down the principal on my loan. For instance, we'll also have one that'll be for our everyday reoccurring expenses, which will include phone, utilities, internet, all that stuff, because I prepay it. Obviously, I'm house hacking, so those bills I do get a little bit of reimbursement from that, but I pay all of it up front. So that way there's never a stoppage. If somebody pays me late for utilities, it's not going to be stopped because I'm not going to be inconvenienced by the utilities, and it's easier for me because I'm responsible. So if I'm responsible for it, I got final say so on it, it gets paid. I know it gets paid. And so as we start shifting that to the income portfolio, then what we should end up seeing is we should be sitting stable at around 50% or more, because I also have my investments and stuff cycling through that income portfolio. So I'm also taxing myself. A chunk of it goes into the Bitcoin standard. A chunk of it's going to be going in to our options portfolio, which is something else that we're getting ready to roll out. That won't be for the show. Like, I don't know options. I don't know how to options trade, but I got some experiments that I want to do. I'm going to follow some other people around and see what they're doing and see if I can make some money doing it. I also don't have the time to be looking at the market all the time. That's the other main issue there. So that portfolio is going to be doing a lot of work, and then all of my income will just be invested. So like my check gets invested and we start moving to a space where we can live off the dividends. That's the goal, because we're trying to leave the workforce. And that's the way that you retire early. We're looking at about on my ticker, we're down to 31 months. I'm excited about it. I'm counting the months down. And we're gonna keep building this out. We'll see what happens this year. This year will be a telltale sign as we're rolling these strategies forward to see where that's actually going to sit. Now, one of the other things that I've got for you, moving on to the next thing, which is our credit score. Yep, I got January pulled up. So January, okay, so our credit score is at 727. We have taken a hit on that because we're back in turtle mode. So we're not chunking this down as fast as we were. What we are doing is we're trying not to buy as much stuff. We're cutting back on the purchases, like the needless purchases. Most of the stuff that I have to purchase that's extra outside of like this is required to live are going to be coming out of the dividend cut, which we're not going to be spending on much, but I don't really have that many big ticket items. It's either something for home defense, car maintenance, house maintenance, stuff like that. But that means that our credit, we've got a lot of this revolving debt. One of the things that we've done is we opened up a Bank of America card. That'll be coming up on Friday. We talk about that in the Debt Crusher recap for the year. But we opened up another card to move some of that into a 0% interest, that Chase card that has all those medical expenses, also the car expenses, also the physical therapy, which counts as medical expenses. All that stuff ended up on that card. All the human tragedy that could have happened over a really bad 4 months, because everybody says you can't survive 2 months, most people. Well, I went through 4 horrendous months that then stretched out with the physical therapy constantly pecking at me. And, we're where we're at with it, but floating that debt, we're down to 720.27. Now, interesting, looking forward, or actually looking backwards, January, we started the year off with a credit score of 802. Why? Because I wasn't using it. Your score goes down if you use your credit, people, just so you know. The score goes down when you use your credit. So we're at 727 right now, starting this year off. By the end of this year, we should be back up in the 800s, around abouts there, high 7s, middle 8s. That's just kind of the way that it works when you're using the credit. And then we'll be recasting some of that credit to probably make some big moves forward, depending on what the income looking in is like, because we're running it up this year. This is going to be a pivotal year. Last year was a pivotal year because we set up these strategies. This year, we're going to get to see these strategies running harder than ever in a full 12-month window. Our income is the next, or the total saved actually is the next one. Actually, do I have that for the month of? Let's see here. Yep, I do. Okay, so the total saved this month was $3,336, which is awesome. Like a lot of people aren't squirreling away money like that. One of the things that I do is, obviously, I am very pro acquiring assets, so that is a priority for me. I also am pro reinvestment of assets, so I'm reinvesting heavily. Like, obviously, all my crypto stuff gets reinvested. My dividend portfolio has certain amounts that I'm forcing myself at bare minimums, even while I'm managing this debt, to be reinvested. We're investing as much off of our paychecks as I can stomach. And I'm really adamant about paying myself first. Now, we're managing the rest of the debt. We are actually taking pot shots at the debt as we get the opportunity to. But overall, my priority is that. So that's how you end up with a savings rate of, 40 to 60%, because it's a priority for me. If I get extra money, if I get side gig money, if any extra money that I have come in, gets invested and saved. Like, I don't up my lifestyle with additional income. Like, when I get bonuses, when I get anything that's given to me, I'm like, cool, we're putting it to work. And then on the back end, the reward is like, if I want something, I get it out of the dividend pool of money. That's generally the way that works. Like, I don't normally buy stuff out of my paycheck, even aside from paying bills and investing. And obviously, like, reoccurring expenses. So, like, I do my grocery shopping. That comes out of my paycheck because it's going onto a card, which I'm going to have to pay back with my credit card with my paycheck money, my W-2 income. But that dividend income, like, if I need something extra or want something special, I'm like, cool, that comes out of the debt payment and I'll pay for it out of the dividend income. And so I'm very focused on getting as much money saved as possible. Moving on from total save, we're moving on to income next, which this one is an interesting one. Our income this month was down. We were down from last month, and I'm pretty sure I narrowed in on why and what I was doing, because as we were running these consolidations, I was getting payouts and then rolling them into my Misty position, which is the majority position now. But as I was clipping and tax loss harvesting these other positions, I was waiting until after the dividend payout, which was smart. And then I was rolling it into Misty before Misty's dividend payout. Also smart. And as I'm doing that, it's creating, from a dividend perspective, it's creating additional income that's getting converted. But now that I'm all done with that, now we're kind of at a level where we had a smaller dividend from Misty, which affects the entire payout because Misty is the bulk of the payout. I started with my week 4 payout. We are looking at building this to where we're going to have a lot of our payments and a lot of our other positions are going to get funded from Misty because it is a part of my Bitcoin standard. So all my money goes there first. After we get the Misty position set up to where it's within the range of the bare minimum of what I want, which is 1,200 shares, 1,200 specifically because I want 200 to be able to either do call options on and or sell off with a minimum of 1,000 shares. My goal is to have my bare minimum be $1,000 a week, which would be $4,000 per month, which is really close to the goal that we have of $5,000 per month. But I had to have a starting metric for as I'm building these weeks out. And Misty had a lower payout this month than last month. So that clipped and kind of now we're in the realm of the reason I want 4 weeks worth of money, and I'd like it to be $1,000 a week because these aren't consistent. So I'm doing worst case scenario because we're still well over $1, but I'm building all these positions out based on it more or less usually being around $1 for each position that I'm choosing for that week. And then the last 1,000 we will have coming from our reinvestment positions, which at that point, those are constantly ticking their way up a little bit as well. Should cover us, ends up at 5,000, then we'll build out from there, because once we hit about 3x the income on the bad side, not just like, oh, we did it 1 month, I'm out of here. Once we hit that 3x income, I'll be able to comfortably not have to go to work or go do things in the way that I want to do it, or be able to buy my time back. So that's the play there, and that's total income. Now, when we get to dividend income, because of the shift and the way that Misty paid out this month, we're actually down just under $1,000. It's $997, which is basically Misty paid less. That was the volatility there and the inconsistency. That's what we got spit out of the machine this month. which put us at a negative $1,000 for the month of December coming from November, because November we had a great payout also. Total in dividends that we had was $2,345. That's not bad. Nothing to complain about. That's a good chunk of money. You're able to make some moves, some reinvestments. When we get paid that big, one of the things I started doing was I started, making sure that we were siphoning some money off to the long-term holdings, moving some positions over to other positions that are for our benefit, that are pro growth. We're getting that portfolio, that buffer made up. We're building that foundation. We're kind of building it a little bit backwards in a little bit of a risky fashion. Granted, this is still well beneath the max end of my risk tolerance, and we're getting results and income. So all of those things work for me. But when we look at the year, this is an interesting one also. For the year, coming from January, we are up $2,228. That's income. Now, I understand that's not that much money. I've been perusing, doing my research, looking at what these other people are getting paid out in some of these larger portfolios than what I've got. But for a portfolio that floats around $25,000, $30,000, getting $2,000 a month, not bad. Not bad in growth of income, because that's income that I didn't do anything for, but hold those ETFs, hold those income products. Starting back in January, the video that I did back in January on the old channel, I was talking about how excited I was because we finally got our dividends over $100. And I was like, hey, now I'm going to start paying attention to this portfolio. It's over $100 now. That was a milestone for me. The second milestone was $1,500. Now, where we're at now within that 12-month window, we started off January, our dividend payouts that we got from our portfolio on the TradFi side, this is just dividends, was $117. And now ending the year, we're at $2,345. Those are real results. I post the videos for y'all of my Misty payouts when Misty's paying. The other ones really aren't worth talking about right now, but after we get them up over $500, once we get those other weeks going, I'll start talking about those too, because this is real income. Oh, you got to pay taxes. Yeah, but the taxes on dividends is different than your taxes on your W-2. It's also based on your income. So it goes into income. The premise is I'd rather pay the taxes on income I didn't have to physically go to work for, physically get micromanaged for, physically go in and deal with somebody else's bad day for, than go in there anyway. You're going to pay the taxes either way. It doesn't even make sense to me that how people can really fight against their own best interest when it comes to getting wealthy and attaining wealth. The best money to pay taxes on is money you didn't do anything for. You didn't do anything for. I went to sleep, woke up, fourth week of the month, I get paid $2,000. Yes, I'll pay taxes on that happily. I didn't do anything for that. I bought a product and held it, went to bed, and it's creeping up on my income. You're starting to get into the space. I'm almost making more than what my take home is after I pay taxes at work. And yeah, obviously you got to take the tax hit at the end of the year, but worth it. I'm going to be able to not go to work. Why would I not want to pay taxes on that? It's just the thought process on it, and the way that people who have been indoctrinated into this financial matrix that is extracting your life force. You are miserable. You show up to work. You talk about how much you hate this job. I don't want to deal with this. This is horribly managed. The leadership sucks. I'm not getting a raise. I'm not getting paid what I'm worth. All these things. And then you'll go, oh, well, I don't want dividends because I don't want to pay taxes on them. It just doesn't make sense to me. But we're going to get you there because I'm documenting this journey, and y'all going to see me get to hang out and do some pretty awesome stuff and start moving into a space where I am in control of my time, where I get to choose. I'm going to be in the position of power when I'm negotiating whether I'm going to go to continue working or not, because it's going to be a choice. It's not going to be because I have to. Everything's going to be paid for, and paid for well. And the thing that spurred this thought process and really put it at the forefront of my mind and really put the sense of urgency behind what I'm doing is because my job, a good portion of it being blue collar, is tied to my physicality. And I had a terrible injury where I couldn't walk. So, like, I mean, technically speaking, at that point, you're not even supposed to be able to make money. That's when it hit me, because I'm very good at working hard. I'm very good at going in. I'm not necessarily good at being grateful for it, because, like, I understand that I'm a resource that's being extracted, and, like, that's all I am to these people. But I'm good at going to work. And, like, as I've been getting better at this money game, I'm starting to realize some stuff. Like, I finally got to the point to where, like, I didn't have to go to work and then go to work again on a side gig when I was Ubering and using all my time physically doing something to bring in income. Like, now I'm bringing in income with my mind, and I'm able to multiply my W-2 income. I'm turning my W-2 income into capital, into assets, into income. Which means that, like, I don't have to go physically do anything to get that $2,000. I have to think really hard. I have to, like, make financial decisions. I have to figure out how I'm navigating that $2,000. I have to prepare for getting that tax hit. But I'd rather do that than physically go to work and wear my body down to the point where my Achilles tendon is just severing, because I like to do physical activities. I'm a high energy person. And, you know, I'd like to enjoy some of my body for me. And I'm not willing to sacrifice on what I'm willing to do to cut back so that I can go to work to make somebody else money that really, at the end of the day, I mean, could or could not give a rat's patoot about me beyond their ability to make money off my labor. So I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to make sure that I have some years where I can go do what I want, and I can take employment on my terms. Maybe I want to sit down and go get a job where I can sit down. I want to sit down and go to the gym and just train and dance and do those things and have that be my physical activity versus constant physical activity all day. Constantly just lifting heavy stuff, doing things. I mean, I'm in great shape, but I don't want to have to expend my body for someone else's benefit that's benefiting from it more than I am. That's just me. It's egotistical, yes. But also, if you're doing stuff that's beneath your level of competence, then you should be a little bit egotistical. Like, I chose this field for specific reasons. I chose this field so that I could get a skill. I have the skill. It's never going away. But now I'm like, do I actually want to, like, do the physical part of this? Like, not really. Like, not at the point to where I'm having to have surgeries and I'm down for a month and in pain and jacked up. Like, no, because the physical stuff that I want to do, which also could put me in pain and get me jacked up, like, I'm not going to lie. But that's my decision. My decision to wear my body out. And, like, I want to be in the driver's seat for that. So that's the reason we're doing this. The numbers are going in the right direction. Pullbacks happen. Numbers don't always just go straight up. They go down, they go sideways, they get boring. And then they have those, especially with crypto and crypto related stuff, exponential reward for the diligence and the dedication to understanding how the space works and how the products attached to the space works. And we're going to leave it on that. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Let me know what you guys think. You know, like, we're making some moves. We've got our goals lined out for 2025. We're in 2025. We're hitting the ground running. We're going to keep running these numbers up, and we're going to see how efficient and meticulous we can be. It's your boy Reckless Ray De Niro. Thank you for tapping in again, and I'm out.
Money on my mind, yeah. Focus, got no time for games, nah. I don't play, man, I'm all about that financial literacy. Investing in my future, building generational wealth. Dollar bills, they be calling my name, but I ain't chasing fame, I'm chasing change. Learn the game, now I'm playing it smart. Putting my money to work, it's an art. I'm stacking paper, building my own empire. No more living check to check, I'm getting higher. Investing in stocks, real estate, and more. Gotta secure the bag, that's what I came for.